All right, guys.
Yeah.
I guess we took a break, or there's some kind of stopping, some sort of segue or something into this. I'm sure
that's what it was.
We're doing in the show.
Mm-hmm.
But this is our first interview with my raid leader, Ochi. Who's the man? Ochi's ready. So we're just going to jump right into it. Ochi, tell us about, first let's start with, tell us about your credentials. Like when did you start playing WoW? Why did you start playing WoW? And, what brought you here, like to being a raid leader?
Of course. So honestly, everything started back a million years ago. I don't even remember what year it was, but I started playing Warcraft 3, Warcraft 2, then into Warcraft 3. Really got into that series, really got invested into the storyline. So at the time I had heard that a new game was coming out called World of Warcraft. It would be an MMO. At the time I did not know what an MMO was, but I did understand that it would be more first person instead of a overhead RTS. So I got very excited about it, jumped right into it, and really got lost in the game. This was during Classic at the initial launch. Really enjoyed it. Completely different world from what it was, from what it's turned into today. But back then I got into a very good guild, very focused guild that enjoyed doing a lot of their events. And they kind of started working me into their activities. As I leveled up, they would take me on runs and stuff. And so it really laid a good foundation for me to see how social this game could be and how you can reach out to other people and really enjoy spending time with them.
Huh.
How would you say that that's kind of how you started getting good at the game? Was it through that? Or?
Honestly, I don't think I actually got good at the game till many expansions later.
Right.
Classic was a different beast entirely. In vanilla, we had 1 or 2 button rotations. I played a Frost Mage throughout Molten Core.
What?
I had 2 buttons. I mean, honestly, I spammed Frostbolt on every boss fight. I don't remember needing to use any other abilities except for Conjure Refreshment. Those are the 2 I remember using.
Okay, so how did you become a raid? Because I'm curious. Like I watch what you do, and I mean I've seen a few other raid leaders before, and they always seem like pretty talented. Because I imagine you have to be. But just watching Ochi, like blows my mind because he's doing like I can't even talk while I'm doing DPS in a raid. Like if somebody talks to me, I don't know. I just start messing up right away. And this guy is keeping track of like everybody in the raid, and he knows what everybody's doing, what the boss is going to do. He's a living GPS. He can just walk you through the mechanics as we're doing this. So so my question to you, Ochi, is like, why are you a raid leader? Like, how did you decide to be like, I'm going to be a raid leader, I'm going to be that good? Like how does that work?
Actually, through a lot of trial and error on my end, I did not start seriously raid leading till the Wrath of the Lich King expansion. I was actually part of a guild with a raid leader. I was in charge of healing callouts at the time, so he did all of the big shot calls. My job was just to work with the healers and develop healing strategies for the fights. And about halfway through our push into ICC, the raid leader kind of disappeared. To this day, we actually don't know what happened to him. He just stopped logging on, never heard back from him again. So
wow.
We kind of started to band together and pick up the pieces. We wanted to finish the raid tier. And so we kind of naturally started picking up new roles and new responsibilities. And I started doing more shot calling. And then on and off throughout the next several expansions, I continued to raid lead. Not every expansion. Sometimes I would be just part of a team. But I always liked to watch how other people handled mechanics and what they did great, and learn from them and kind of steal what they did. And it can be challenging, but the easiest thing is just to play a class you're very, very comfortable with. And quite honestly, an easier rotation is better when it comes to raid leading. If you can play something that you can kind of just auto drive on and focus on some of the other mechanics, it'll make your life much, much easier.
Yeah, I bet. Because like I said, I mean, I just have so much trouble multitasking when I'm playing the game. To me, it's like magic. You guys do that. I'm just like, wow, they're magicians. They're David Copperfield. I don't know what they're doing over there.
Well, add-ons help quite a bit nowadays, too. Add-ons and layouts. I tell a lot of people, if you have the right layout, if you have all the information where you can readily access it and quickly scan over it, and you have it nice and clean, that helps extremely, helps everyone with call-outs and me being able to check where people are and what they're doing.
But doesn't that take a lot of... I bet there's a lot of configuration, because I've seen some of that stuff, like with weak auras and all these other add-ons, but I mean, I'm sure you have to spend quite a bit of time dealing with these add-ons, right? Or...
Yes and no. The biggest add-on, I utilize Exorcist Raid Tools, which has a little bit of everything tied into it. So that helps a lot. But my current setup and my current configuration has just come from several years of raid leading. And sometimes we would get to a boss that has a certain mechanic, or we'd need a certain healing rotation. And so then I would learn, oh, here's how I track healing cooldowns, and it would just stay there for the next fight. Or we would have one showing here's rangefinder, and here's how you can set up the rangefinder. And then I just have it ready for other fights. So I think just being around for a very long time has helped immensely.
So basically, Rome wasn't built in a day. It takes time to work up to being a serious raid leader.
No, for me it did. I'm sure there are some people much more talented and who can pick up things quicker, or who are much better with add-ons and weak auras and developing and designing. But I'm definitely a slow learner, so it has taken me the better part of, since Wrath of the Lich King till now, to kind of be comfortable and in the position I'm in to be able to raid lead.
I used to be a clicker.
Oh man, I used to know someone who, one of my raiders used to open his spell book. I kid you not. He didn't have any spells on his taskbar.
No.
Nothing was hotbound. He would open his spell book and click the spells out of his book. And one day, he's like, how are you guys pressing your buttons so quickly?
Wait. Are you sure that wasn't me?
It might have been.
I love to play WoW after, pillaging villages near Stormwind, and sometimes my frog-like fingers get stuck on the keyboard, so it's easier for me to just click whatever's on the screen. And I don't have the patience to set up all the bars. I'm the infamous Merc Eye. I have little tolerance for mortals and their ways, so yeah, I use a spellbook.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's people don't understand. There is a lot about learning to play an MMO, and then there's a lot learning to play it efficiently and kind of at the rating and higher level.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of people recently jump into WoW, first-time players. They've never even done MMOs before. And it can be very overwhelming talking about keybinds, talking about setting up macros. These are console players who are used to having 7 buttons and 2 joysticks, and now they're jumping into a world of 27 keybinds and MMO mice. It can be very, very challenging for people.
Yeah, even me, like, I've been playing for years, and it took me years just to figure out, like, oh, I should keybind things, you know?
Oh yeah, well, it wasn't until the Legion expansion. I never DPS'd before. I was always a tank or a healer. So I never learned how to sim my gear until Legion. And that seems like a very high-end raider type thing. But I was doing high-end content at the time, and I needed to learn how to do it, and I needed to know how to min-max. And it's intensive.
Speaking of which,
So Tech here has been trying to figure out what parsing is for like a month now. He keeps saying it has something to do with a website, but he doesn't know what website it is.
I think I kind of understand. Like, you guys, all right, my raid team has been explaining and talking about parsing for months now, and I feel like I still don't get it. So I'm going to ask you a few things, like a few kind of meanings to explain. So, and we can start with parsing. What is parsing? How does that work? Why does that matter?
So what happens is when we go into a raid leaders can do what's called a raid log. Basically, they can record all of the information for all of the fights. This isn't a video recording. It's all of the data, and then you can upload it to a place called Warcraft logs. Once you upload it, it gives you a breakdown showing exactly what each person did at which point during the fight. It then takes all of your data and compares it to all the other raids that have ever been uploaded. It then allows you to do a breakdown to see how you compare to other people. Specifically for myself, I play a holy priest. I can look at my holy priest and it'll give me a percentage saying, compared to all the other holy priests in the world, here's how well you performed.
Oh.
And then it does a second breakdown saying, compared to all the other holy priests who, not in the world, but who have uploaded logs, here's your performance for your item level. So it does a more detailed breakdown, because obviously players with much higher item level are going to do much more damage, much more healing. So
Right.
the second parse, the eye level parse, is much more in line to show, here's how you stack up against others. And it's a very good learning tool to see if you're doing something wrong with your rotation or your spec.
Right. So, because my whole thing was, up until this all started happening, was, like, well, they could just be doing more damage than me because they have better gear. But this kind of fixes that.
It does. The eye level parse allows you to really compare yourself to other people with your same gear. And
Right.
if you're still not performing well, then you can start looking at, a myriad of things. Talents, gems, enchants, trinkets. You can look at, maybe you have high item level gear, but maybe it's not the right type of gear. So it really lets you narrow in and constantly improve your playstyle and your character.
All right. So now we know a little bit about raiding, what it takes to be a raider, the experience, the knowledge, the struggle. But now, what I want to know is, let's say I'm a raider. I want to join a raid team. What can I do to be in your good graces, to get your attention, to have you want me to be in your team?
So that's a very difficult answer, because there's a lot of different teams out there with different goals. Just to preface everything, so everyone understands, there are various types of raiding, and there's various difficulty levels. So starting from the lowest level, you have looking for raid, up to normal, heroic, and then mythic is the very hardest. So depending on what type of a team you want to get on is really going to depend on what you need to do. To initially start out raiding, the best thing you can probably do is just make sure that your character has the right gear. Make sure they are at the correct item level for that raid, and then start looking for teams or people who you connect well with. Maybe someone who needs your specific class or spec, or maybe just some friends that you know, even IRL friends, and just hang out with them and start getting more and more experience to build off of.
That's really good advice.
Wow.
Ochi, you're doing a lot better than I thought you were, buddy. This is some informative shit.
It ain't my first rodeo, guys.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
kind of getting me excited.
It might be my last. I might have to hang my head in shame after this one comes out.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Oh, okay. All right. So, what can somebody do to just be on your total bad side? Like, I don't like this guy. Besides the obvious, like saying something about your mom or just being drunken and rude. What can somebody do? You'd be like, oh, I don't like.
So, this is personally for my raid style, and I know there's different raid leaders out there. For my personal raid style, when you're in a raid setting, you have a minimum of 10 people up to 30 people there. Everyone there has their own thoughts and ideas and opinions. If you disagree with the raid leader, it's okay to voice your opinion, but do it in a private message or a whisper.
Right.
Don't say anything over comms. Don't say anything over raid chat. Because again, there could be 30 other people with their own opinions and their own ideas. And it really creates a bad environment when people start openly questioning leadership in comms.
Right.
And that's not to say leaders are always right. There are many, many times when I'm doing something wrong. But take it offline. Don't do it in front of everyone, because that's just opening a can of worms.
There was literally one time where I noticed you made a mistake. Like you messed something up. I forgot what it was. And I was just like, oh, my Ochi add-on is broken. I got to reset it. This thing's acting up. But it's very rare.
Oh, no, it actually happens quite a bit. Just we have a lot of very good raiders who make up for it, or they just don't listen to me if they know I'm saying something wrong.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I guess I just don't notice because I still suck. But anyways. All right, and last one before we move on, because we're running out of time. I don't want to keep you here. How do you deal with me being dead half the time? Is that a problem? Like, does that slow us down? Should I be dead less?
I don't know. Sometimes it's one less mechanic I have to keep track of, to be honest with you.
Oh.
Yeah, sometimes, the less people we have alive, the less people that can actually wipe us.
I usually die in the second half of the raid because I fall asleep after the 4th boss.
Hey, sometimes sacrifices must be made for the greater good. Blood for the blood god, as it were.
That's my role. That's my role in the team, guys. I sacrifice myself for everybody else.
So I'm actually not gonna lie to you guys. There was a fight once. I could not get the mechanics down, like to save my life. I just died constantly. It was the same mechanic every single time. And tilting's a real thing. Once you start making one mistake, things really spiral out of control, and you can make more and more and more mistakes. So I decided, it's better for me just to die at the beginning of this fight. And I will sit here dead, and I can do callouts while I'm dead. And it'll be much better for everyone else.
Right.
So in that case, I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna go off and die in the corner, guys. You got this. But otherwise, I would say our team, specifically Lost Our Signal, does a phenomenal job. I don't think you die half as many times as you think you do. And I've definitely, we've cleared through all of normal Nathria with a bunch of people who are new and returning to the game. So
we're the Alliance.
Yeah, we're doing something right.
All right. So you're not regretting having me on the team?
I haven't kicked you out yet. It just takes one drunken night with someone yelling over comms, but as of now, no.
Right. Yeah. Well, you don't have to worry about that. I'm not. I know how to be professional.
Oh.
You should. That's. By the way, guys. That's something you should just do, like practice in life. Like if you have something to say to somebody, you pull them aside.
I don't know. Have you guys ever seen the Onyxia wipe animation?
Come here, you fucking cunt. Touch the tail.
Okay.
I love that guy. I wish all my raid leaders were like that guy.
Yes.
It's hilarious.
So if I could be any kind of raid leader in the world, that's the type of raid leader I would love to be. Can I handle it? No, it doesn't. It doesn't match my personality style. But if you've never seen it, it's called Onyxia wipe animation. It's a old video from vanilla WoW during the Onyxia progression fights. And to me, it is the funniest thing I've ever seen as a raid leader.
All right. So let's move on to the final phase here so we can get you out of here, Ochi, because you got another raid to lead. So let's do it. This is the speed question round. I'm going to give you instructions. All right. So this is a speed question exercise, a secretly formulated set of questions designed to identify the amount of coolness that you, sir, possess.
Oh, then you don't even need to worry about asking the questions. I failed already. I'm a raid leader in an MMO, guys. Let's preface everything here.
So you're basically just disqualifying because you're a giant nerd, is what you're saying.
If there's a cool factor here, then I've already lost. But if we can maybe think of another award, we're good to go from there.
All right. Let's give it a shot and let's see how you do. All right. This formula is highly complicated, and its results indisputable. Are you ready?
As ready as I'll ever be.
The mayor, the cook, or the candlestick maker?
Candlestick maker.
How much wood can a woodchuck chuck?
A woodchuck could chuck all the wood he could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
When was the last time you washed your hands, sir?
I don't believe in washing hands.
Would you ever be willing to give me and Filthy your social security number, home address, and or driver's license number?
Only if you're a Nigerian prince willing to give me lots of money.
Is cereal soup?
Alphabet soup?
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Of course.
What were you doing the night of August 8th, 1986 at 3 a.m.?
Raid leading.
I think I'm entitled. You want answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
He's actually using a soundboard right now,
Of course he is.
which he bought and set up for just that. That's what you're dealing with.
All right. Now remember, this quiz is very scientific. A lot of research. And its results are indisputable. The result of the coolness quiz is...
Yeah.
Yeah. He's an all right guy.
Actually,
I like
I'll
him.
survive.
Yeah. All right.
He's in there.
Yeah, he made it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
He's in.
He didn't give us the social security number or the...
No. He should have.
You guys did not give me any money. I'm telling you guys, I need that text saying you're a Nigerian prince with lots of money,
Oh, I got you.
and then we'll talk.
I know a Nigerian guy. Just shoot me your email after the show. Give me
gee, you're in trouble,
all
buddy.
the information. We can work something out. You know, I mean, yeah, we can do this.
All right. Well, because you're cool, we would like to officially make you a friend of the show, Ochi. And maybe we could
Yeah.
invite you back. How do you feel about that?
Of course, just let me know, guys. Definitely hope the show keeps growing, and wish you guys the best of luck with all your future endeavors.
All right. Before you go, is there anything you want to plug or put out there or something or say to the people?
No super easy things. If you are new to World of Warcraft, you don't know where to start, but you want to learn to raid, hit us up. We're currently online. We are a very large guild with many raid teams. Specifically, my teams, Lost Signal and Loster Signal, are designed specifically for new and returning players. There can be a lot of toxicity online, big surprise. And so we offer everyone a very laid back and easygoing raid to kind of get your feet under yourself with.
I agree. Thank you, Ochi. I really appreciate all your hard work as a raid leader. And he's absolutely right. Ever since I joined the community, these guys welcome me with open arms. They let me be creative. There's a council and stuff. And I feel like, for the first time in the gaming community, I've found a home. And it feels nice. So thank you. And thank you for coming.
By all means, I'm glad you've enjoyed your time. And thank you all for having me. And I will talk to you all again soon.
Check it out.
Hey yo, I gotta move quick. I gotta meet a deadline, and if they said I never do shit, they lied to you. I'm on the ground and too swift. Plus I'm mystic like druids and yo. Got all these bitches doing huge splits, but I ain't no tech nine. I have a hibernate a blueprint, and I'll admit I'm confusing. Like mad teachers chew my gum and amusing. Let's parlay in the party. Getting strange like a gangsta eating parfait. Out of place like a Republicans in Broadway. You might think I'm that cool, but nah, I'm like my contact.